everybody, to the Make the Most of Life podcast. Today I have our special guest, Terry L. Fossum here, and I'm really excited to have him. He's a very impressive man here, done a lot of things in his life. Um, I'll give you an intro here right now, but it's going to be awesome. Um, so,
While you're looking that up, I got to say, you're special. My mom used to say I was special, but I'm not sure if that was a compliment. I don't think that was good.
Yeah, well, no, it is. Yeah. Oh boy. All right. So, just to summarize at first here, Terry's a leadership expert, an adventurer, an author, producer, actor, host, keynote speaker, philanthropist, and avid scouter, Boy Scouts, that is. Um, and I want to read through his long but simplified resume here on his ultimatedrivingforce.com. You can also go to terrylfossum.com, but we'll say that again at the end. But so Terry is highly successful in multiple arenas. He has a degree in mechanical engineering from Texas A&M University. Corps of Cadets created a command level leadership position for just him. Captain in the Air Force, executive officer for an entire group of nuclear B-52 bombers, KC-135 air refueling aircraft, T-37 training aircraft, and UH-1 search and rescue helicopters. Fairchild Air Force Base Officer of the Year, Humanitarian of the Year for All Strategic Air Command, distinguished graduate, I'm sorry, my reading sometimes it's small too, from Quadrant Officers School. Highly successful businessman, building training and inspiring sales teams around the globe. Married into three teenage and preteen boys, so retired to raise them into honorable men, of course. Became their scoutmaster. Love it. Wrote 4 books while they were at school, but wouldn't promote them and take time away from his dad duties until they grew up. I like that. Then represented all of Boy Scouts of America on a survival reality show, prime time on Fox Network as the oldest competitor. He and his partner won. Congratulations, Terry. High lauded international keynote speaker, black belt in Taekwondo. Watch out. Actor, producer, and voiceover artist, winner, Best Supporting Actor, and fan favorite 2021 Christian Film Festival, and more. Also, a few more here. Global adventurer with adventures in places like Arctic Circle, Amazon jungle, mountains of Rwanda, Egypt, and more. Philanthropist with projects in different parts of the world, and finally, #1 bestseller author on Wall Street Journal, Amazon, and Barnes & Noble of his book, The Ox Cart Technique, Blueprint for Success. So, amazing. That's just the tipping point, really. That's just, whoa. So check out his
website. I can't hold down a hobby, man. That's all. I can't hold down a hobby.
No, I'm similar. I mean, I have a lot of interests, but you've really professionalized all of it. So that's yeah, I make up words sometimes. And then another thing that's not on that list is called Blow the Bolts, life-changing audio coaching. And he has a whole program that you can purchase for that and has a separate site for that. So thanks again for being on here, Terry. I'm very honored to have you.
I'm honored to be on here, man. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you. Well, I guess just the name helps get people interested to be on.
It's a good name. You picked a good one.
Thank you. It took me a while to figure it out. I wanted to do something inspiring, and we all want to make the most of our life, and I want to learn how to do that better and more, and coming out of my own challenges. So
let me jump in just right there. If you want to make the most out of your life, make the most out of other people's lives.
Exactly.
Help them make the most out of their lives. That's the whole deal. Back to you. I just want to jump in on that.
Exactly. And then back to that, I like the idea of we're given our God or universe, whatever you believe, given gifts when we're when we're made here on our earth, and then our job in life is to find those gifts and then give those gifts, because that is the name, in fact, as a gift. You're supposed to give it to the world, and that's the service. So
It's funny. It's funny you say that, because the first thought in my head every
uh,
single morning, bar
mm,
none,
wow,
the first thought is, thank you, God, for the gifts you've given me.
mm,
Please help me to use them for your service.
love it.
Every single, it's a great way to start the day. Let's first of all be appreciative. Now, I
Mhm.
do believe in God, and I don't care what anybody else believes in. I don't care.
Yeah,
But I believe in God. And I've been given a lot of gifts. We all have.
yeah,
uh, but credit where credit's due.
yeah, yeah,
I personally am not that cool. But God has given me some gifts that have allowed me to do some things and help some people.
yeah,
But that's because He gave me those gifts.
yeah,
So, and again, like you said, seeking out. Okay, so what am I supposed to do with them? I've been given gifts. What am I supposed to do with them? We
exactly.
all have gifts. We can all make a difference in the world. We can all help people with a smile, a
Yeah.
kind word. People think you got to be rich to be a philanthropist.
No,
No, give freely of your kindness. Give
yeah,
freely of your smile.
yep, I do
That's
that.
a philanthropist.
Yep, yep, exactly. No, I love interacting with even strangers anywhere, and give my gift of kindness. Or you see a bum on the street, and they're not necessarily a bum, really. Like, that's just the name we give them, but they're interesting people. They have something to say and something to feel. They're all human and gone through whatever. So I like to find out maybe what they've gone through and just talk to them and give my kindness and attention, because a lot of people just walk by, and I may not have a dollar or a bunch of dollars to give to them, but I think
A
just,
smile can change their lives.
yeah,
And it's funny you bring that up. I mentioned to you before we started, I've got some construction going on. They're
yeah,
building a big retaining wall just
okay,
right outside here.
okay,
And I started talking with two of the guys, or one of the guys in particular, um, and he told me that was his background.
mm,
He'd been on the streets for 5 years, and quite honestly, I kind of knew that.
no,
Um, not from anything I said, just from watching him.
mm,
Um, the guy's amazing.
mm,
He is articulate. He's a very hard work. I can tell you that. He is smart. Um, Circumstances can change. We'll talk about actually one of my own housekeepers maybe later on in this podcast.
sure,
What happened with her? But yeah. Everybody has value. Everybody
yeah,
has value. Now
exactly.
they sometimes need somebody else to point out that value. So
Hmm.
just a kind word itself can do that. I know that's not necessarily where we were going with this
No,
podcast,
that's
but it's a
great.
great direction to go.
Yeah, because I mean, it's all part of that's a great way to make the simple way to make the most of life, is just by being kind and smiling at others and helping them feel, good about just their day, the moment.
Yeah.
And then, it helps them see more ways that they can enjoy their life more, so
I
hopefully.
was I was walking across a parking lot 30 years ago, probably 30 years ago, 25 to 30. I was wearing a yellow shirt. Now, I don't know what I wore yesterday, but I can tell you 30 years ago, I was wearing a yellow shirt,
Okay.
because as I'm walking across the parking lot, this gal comes walking towards me. She goes, "Hey, that's a really nice color on you." And
Hmm.
then just keeps walking. She wasn't
Hmm.
looking to hit on me or anything like that. She's just giving a kind word. 30 years from then,
Right?
I'm still talking about it. It made a difference in my day, you
Yeah.
know?
I love giving compliments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As
And
long
we're
as they're
both
good
wearing
ones.
green, by the way, today. And a
What's
green,
that?
we're both wearing green with a green cup too. And I was noticing it earlier. I was thinking, well, that's fitting to your military and maybe the Boy Scouts. And
My wife laughs at me. My entire wardrobe is earth tone. All I got,
it's
man.
a good one. Oh boy. Well, it fits for a lot of the things you've done. Um, let's see. Where do we want to go next, Terry? Let's see here.
You're in command, my friend. We talked about that ahead of time before
Yeah,
this show started. One of my sayings to my scouts, to the
yeah.
people I work with, when they're asking, what should I do? What should I do? A lot of times, especially with the kids, like, I can't wait to see what you do. Which in other words, I'm not answering your question. I'm going to guide you from behind, but
Yeah,
you're in command, and that's another one. So
yeah, I
you're
like
in
it.
command, my friend. Where are we going next?
Well, talked a lot about your background, which was one of my questions. We'll go to my sort of format questions a little bit. We'll interweave them in our conversation.
Sure.
Open up things. Um, if you could have your perfect day, what would that look like?
If I could have my perfect day, what would that look like? It's going to be in service of others, obviously. And as you've kind of seen from my background, my interests are quite diverse.
Hmm.
My perfect day could be foraging rivers in the Amazon jungle, covered with literally over 100 ticks through piranha-infested waters, exhausted, sweating my butt off during the day, and getting somewhat chilly during the night, trying not to die, or in negative double digit in the mountains of Washington, or backpacking alone deep in the Arctic Circle. That's a perfect day for me.
That's
It's
awesome.
also standing in front of a few thousand people and speaking, or it's doing coaching, the coaching program that I'm putting together here that is seriously helping people overcome a lot, or to get, oh man, some of the feedback off this audio series, the Blow the Bolt series, and the book too. Had a pretty good day yesterday. I don't know if it was perfect, but it was pretty good when I had a psychologist who understands some of the concept of prospect theory and the psychology, the true, real psychology behind this book, just going on and on about it. And he knows a lot more than I do about psychology, of course.
Mhm.
How this book and the audio series he read and listened to them is just perfect because it's going to help so many people, et cetera, et cetera. Well, that's a pretty good day.
Yeah.
Um, Finding out that you're going to make a difference in the world, because I guess to understand why I appreciate any of that so much, it may help to know a little bit more about my background.
Okay.
Because again, we've talked a bit before this show, and I am not too cool
Yeah.
by any means, by any
Yeah.
stretch. Um, I was literally raised in the poorest city in the entire United States of America, the
Yeah.
poorest city. And everybody's heard of McAllen, Texas, whether you know you have or not, because you've watched it on the news with all the border crossings and the four people that were kidnapped right across the border just a few days ago, as of the time of this recording,
Hmm.
and all of that. Well, that's my hometown.
Hmm.
And don't get me wrong, I love my hometown. I do. The people
Yeah.
are amazing. They're truly amazing. The food's fantastic. Weather is pretty warm all year round, but it could be a little rough growing up there sometimes with all the gangs and the drugs.
Mhm.
In fact, I'll never forget, I was 14 years old. 14 years old. So picture middle school, a young middle schooler. I was in my backyard and I heard a noise in my back alley. Now, if you're from my neighborhood, you hear a noise, you check it out, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I jump over my back fence with all the bluster of a 14-year-old boy, dun, da, da, right? Like I'm going to do it again. And now I understand that's a bad idea. You don't want to be in my alley at night. It's not a good idea. All right. But at least I was concealed by the darkness, right? But then I wasn't, because all of a sudden, boom, these headlights hit me.
Oh.
Yeah, that's bad, because headlights, of course, means a car. A car probably means an adult. An adult in my back alley at night, there's something going on. There's a drug deal going on, or robbery, or something much worse. None of it that they want a 14-year-old boy to be a witness to.
Hmm.
Now, that's bad because I'm fully exposed in the light now. It got a lot worse. It
Hmm.
got a lot worse when the guy walked out in front of those headlights with the assault rifle.
Oh boy.
Yeah, aimed it right at me.
Yeah. And I read this on your site, so people can go into that more detail, but I'm happy
Yeah,
you're telling the story on this.
yeah, absolutely. So there I am, 14 years old, staring down the barrel of an assault rifle, wondering if my next breath is going to be my last breath at 14 years old.
Yeah.
That's when I was in junior high. When I was high school, my father, my dad,
Mm.
we're a
Hmm.
very close family, even though, I was a teenager like all of us. Um, he was killed.
Oh.
And before he died, one of the neighbors came up to him and said, I just want to make sure you understand something. Not a single one of your boys will ever grow up to be
Mm.
anything. So that's my background. That's where I come from.
Yeah.
And so, for the theme of your show, and for everybody listening out there, it doesn't matter what your background is.
Hmm.
And a lot of times we hear that, but it's hard to internalize. Well,
Hmm.
maybe my story will help you internalize it. It's true. All right. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter what's happened to you in the past. We all have things that have happened to us in the past, and many of us won't share all of them,
Mm.
but we all have them. None of them can hold you back. Not a single thing. And I guarantee, well, we've all heard stories a lot worse than mine, a lot
Mm.
worse.
Mm-hmm.
Oprah, who was raped several times by her own family.
Mm-hmm.
Forget the age that she left her house, et cetera, et cetera. She's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Nothing can hold you back unless you let it. You're the only person in the world that can hold yourself back, period.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all in here and in your heart too, but it gets mixed up and can really take control of you if you're not mindful.
Yeah, absolutely. And that mindfulness has to come every single day. We talk about success, the
Yeah.
decision to succeed. So we think we're going to go to a conference, we're going to get all psyched up. Yay, I'm going to do it this time. No, not the
Nope.
way it works.
Yep.
The decision to succeed does not happen once.
Yeah.
It happens every single day.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, several times a day by the actions we take or do not take. If I decide not to do my push-ups today, I'm making a decision not
Mm-hmm.
to succeed.
Yeah.
If I do them, I'm making a decision to succeed. And that's where the ox cart technique
Mm.
helps you succeed.
Yeah.
That's why it hit number one on Wall Street Journal, number one on Amazon, number one on not just some subcategory, the real deal,
Mm-hmm.
number one on Barnes and Noble, best selling on USA Today, because it works.
Yeah.
And if you like, we can go into a little of the goal setting stuff. Would that
I'd
be
love
cool?
to. Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay.
So,
Here's the fascinating thing about goal setting. In fact, let me back up a little bit and go back to my story.
okay.
Um, I tried, man. Ben, I tried. I really did. I tried and I tried. I filled my head through with all of the positive motivation, all the goal setting stuff I could. Zig Ziglar,
Mm-hmm.
Napoleon Hill, Tony Robbins, all of them. I'm packing my head full of that stuff, man. And I tried and I failed, and I tried and I failed, and I tried and I tried and I tried and I failed.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at one of the lowest points of my life where I had built up um, my business
Yeah.
to a point where it could overtake my captain's pay, which was my goal. I love the military, really did. But I had some other things I wanted to accomplish. So I'd start off in the direct sales business. And I built up to the point where I could finally maybe do it. I could resign my commission
Mm.
after all that work, all that failure, all that trying hard. And I lost literally 3/4 of my income overnight.
Whoa.
I was devastated, dude. I mean, I
Yeah.
worked years. I'm not
Yeah.
one of those quick success stories. No, I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that just keeps on slogging through until something maybe happens. And pretty much lost it all.
Mm.
And it was at that point, that one of the lowest points in my life, where I went into the bathroom and I looked in the mirror. I looked at my own eyes. Said, maybe he's right. Maybe I never am going to grow up to be anything.
Wow.
You know, 92% of all the people that go for goals fail.
Yeah.
In fact, let me ask you: have you ever reached for a goal and failed?
A million times.
A million times. We all have. It could be a business goal, like we think of goal
Yeah.
setting as business. What about a relationship goal? What
Yep.
about happily ever after? That's a good goal. 50% of the marriages fail.
Yeah.
Weight loss goals. We've all done that one pretty much, right? 95% of diets fail. And there's a reason why on all of those. There's a reason why 92% of the goals that people try to reach, they fail. There's a reason why 50% of the marriages fail.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why we fail at goal setting. Would you like to know what it is?
Absolutely.
Buy the book. Okay, anyway, on to the next. Sorry, dude.
Can I
Okay,
ask you about where that name comes from, Oxcart technique?
I'm glad you asked. There's a good segue right there.
Yes.
So there I am at one of the lowest points of my life. Only one of them. There's been a few. And look myself in the eyes. Maybe he's right. Maybe never will grow up to be anything. Something happened. I got pissed, to tell you the truth. I got pissed. Wait a minute. No, I refuse to let him be right. If nothing else, for the memory of my father, I refuse to let him be right. That's it. I will not let that happen. And I got mad. And I got up again and brushed myself off again for the 3 billionth time. But there was a different look in my eye this time, man. There was a different look in my eye.
Yeah.
And then I kept moving forward, and I'd hit those same obstacles, the same setbacks, the same everything. I didn't care, because it wasn't about this pie in the sky, oh, someday I want to be rich, and my dream board, which I had, which are important, but they don't work all by themselves, or more people reach their goals. In my case, I had pictures of a big house and a big car. I don't care. I'm my happiest in a tent, right?
Yeah, I love a tent.
There you go. So when I'd hit that 3 millionth, no, you're an idiot, it doesn't work, you're not going to be anything, it wasn't so I could get those things that kept me going. No, I wasn't going to let that SOB be right.
Yeah.
I learned something at that point. The fear of loss can be a bigger motivator than the prospect of gain. Yeah, let me say it again for everybody listening. The fear of loss can be a bigger motivator than the prospect of gain. The stick, depending on the situation and the individual, etc., the stick can be a bigger motivator than the carrot. Now, as I started learning that, I started formulating that into a technique using both the carrot that we all used in the past and the stick. And it's funny, boy, there's a lot of these people, he's like, no, you can't visualize the negative. No. Yeah, you can. Look, I tried your way. 92% of the people who go for goals fail. Okay. I'm not just doing that. What I found was the power of both of them works. Okay. We're going to talk about actual Nobel Prize winning science in a second here.
Super.
But here's what happened. I started using it myself, and I started succeeding past my wildest dreams.
Love it.
I won a survival reality show. Me? Really? On TV? Really? And so I started teaching other people and started working for them. I thought about, okay, it worked for business. What about marriage? So I started teaching it for marriage as well. And when I got an email right here on my computer that said, from a dude that I talked to, said, you just saved my marriage.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. You ask what a good day is like for me? That's a good day.
Yeah.
It's a really good day.
Yeah.
And then the unthinkable happened. I was still, so I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write this into a book.
Okay.
And I'm writing the book, and I thought, you know what? This would work on addiction too.
Yeah.
And I'm doing some research and stuff, and I'm writing the chapter, but I don't think I'm going to include a chapter on addiction in a book like that. I don't know, man. I'm back and forth on it. I'm back and forth. While I am writing the chapter, my doorbell rings.
No.
Okay, all right. So I go up there. It's one of my housekeeping staff. And, oh, Mr. Fossum, I'm so sorry to bother you. I'm so sorry to bother you. I left my favorite sweatshirt here yesterday. Do you mind if I look around for it? I'm like, you know the house better than I do. Go for it, right? Yeah. And but something seemed weird. Something was off. All right, because she'd been here a bunch. I knew her. Something was off, and she went straight, made a beeline for upstairs into our bedroom area.
Okay.
And I noticed she was wearing a big baggy sweatshirt to begin with. I just noticed that. Something's weird. So I go creeping up the steps, and I get to the point where I can look through the bedroom area into our bathroom area. She's in my underwear drawer.
Whoa.
That's not the word I used.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's time to make myself known. Okay, your sweatshirt is not in my underwear drawer.
Yeah.
And she, oh, I'm sorry, it was open. I was closing it for you. Like, okay, now,
Yeah.
So I go up there, then going up the stairs, and I'm about to confront her, and she looks past me, and she goes, oh, there it is. She's looking up there, our bed behind me, my bed area. And there it is. I look back there, and there's a sweatshirt. There is a sweatshirt that I don't recognize, partially underneath our bed. Like, okay, good. Oh, thank you so much. Like, okay, and glad you found it. Now, I call it my wife. And did I mention she's an attorney?
No.
No. Yeah, she's an attorney. And I said, dear, was there another woman's sweatshirt underneath your side of the bed? And her answer was, if there was a sweatshirt, another woman's clothing on my side of the bed, you would be the first to know about it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's exactly true. I think it might have been a judge, but same point.
Yeah.
So I called up the boss of the team, and I said, okay, she was robbing me. She'll never be in my house again. She's robbing me. She's robbing others. You decide what to do there, but she will never be in my house again. The next day, I get a phone call, and it's the boss, and she goes, "So and so wants to talk with you. Would that be okay?" Like, she can talk with me, sure. She gets on the phone. She's crying her eyes out. Okay, still, I'm sorry. Doesn't mean anything to me. All right, you're robbing me. Until she goes, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm addicted to painkillers."
Oh
I was
boy.
in an accident. There, see, we're all there right away. It's a story old as time these days. She was in an accident like 12 years ago, got addicted to painkillers. I don't, even when I get an injury, I don't take them for that reason. So I've got extra, leftover in my drawer, right? And she goes, I've been addicted to painkillers. Nobody knows. My husband doesn't know. I can't get over it. I was stealing your oxycodone. Okay, now I'm a really nice guy. I'm a sweetheart of a guy, but sometimes kindness is cruelty.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to her, and I'm going, okay, ox cart technique, which is what I dubbed this, the carrot and the stick, the ox cart technique.
Okay.
And we'll get into what that technique is now after this. So, okay, here's the deal. You're going to prison. Oh, you're going to prison. This is a felony. You are stealing narcotics from me. This is a felony. You are going to prison. Ah! And I let that soak in.
Yeah.
Sometimes cruelty can be kindness. Okay. Not for long, mind you, not for long. But then at that point, I said, unless you go to an inpatient program right away, check in an inpatient program. Okay. You go to an outpatient program after that. And by the way, I'm going to send you the draft of my book, The Ox Cart Technique, and I want you to do it. And she, oh, yes, I promise, I will, I promise. No. And thank you. No, don't thank me. I will follow up. I absolutely will follow up with you. And if you don't do these things, you're going to prison. If you do these things, you can be completely clear. You can be clean. You're not addicted anymore. You're going to be honest with your husband and everybody else, and you can live out a good life. Oh, thank you. Absolutely. I'll send it right over, the book. I will follow up on you. Thank you. Guess what happened?
She succeeded, hopefully, or she went to prison. Did she?
Yeah, she succeeded. She did it. She's still clean to this day.
Super.
So most people don't understand. And by the way, I want to make sure everybody understands that my cruelty can be kindness. That's an overstatement, okay? I wasn't actually cruel to her. Absolutely not. Cruelty is never good, all right? I just want to make sure everybody understands context here. So I don't get these emails, oh my God, you said cruelty. No, don't take that wrong, okay? It seemed to her at that time that I was harsh. And yet the best thing in the world I could have done for her is to set up what I call the failure scenario. In fact, we're gonna take a break right now because I know you can edit this. I want to go back because I'm afraid I want to go back and retell that story because I'm afraid people are going to mistake that cruelty can be kindness quote.
Okay. All right.
That'd be all right.
Sure.
Okay. Just act like you're still interested.
Okay. So we're gonna edit out the first one and.
Yeah. Edit out the first one for me because I started thinking as I was telling the story. Oh, good. That'll work out perfect too. Since apparently the workers just got here, the dog's letting them know. Yeah, it's like, okay, now people are going to take that wrong and we're going to hear about that. So we'll edit that out.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start off with my own. And guys know, good puppies know, my own, then the unthinkable happened. We'll start there.
Okay.
Sound good? All right, good. Here, we'll do this so you can see this where you're looking at the video. Cut.
Here comes the actor producer.
That's right. Camera rolling, sound speeding, and action. And the unthinkable happened. I was sitting here working on the book, and I was writing a chapter on addiction. And, because the ox cart technique can be applied to addiction as well. And I'm trying to decide, do I really want to include a chapter on addiction in this book. And I'm going back and forth on, I really don't know. As I am writing that chapter, my doorbell rings. And okay, I go up there. It's one of my housekeeping staff. Now, they come on Wednesdays, I think it was, and it was a Thursday. Oh, Mr. Fossum, I'm so sorry to bother you. I left my favorite sweatshirt here yesterday when we were working. Would it be okay if I looked around for it? Like, sure, go for it. Okay. But something seemed weird. Something you get a strange feeling from people sometimes. Yeah. Something seemed off. And she'd been here a lot. I knew her. Something wasn't right. And she goes beeline straight up to my bedroom area. And like, okay. So I decided to just go ahead and kind of walk quietly up the stairs just to see what's up. And I looked through my bedroom area and the bathroom area, and she's in my underwear drawer.
So weird.
Yeah. Just a little lot. And so right at that point, I go, okay, your sweatshirt will not be in my underwear drawer. She turned around, oh my God, oh, I'm so sorry. Close the drawer. It was open. I was closing it for you. I don't know. And I'm just about to confront her. And as I'm doing that, she looks past me and she goes, oh, there it is. And I turn around and there is a sweatshirt that I don't recognize partially underneath my wife's side of the bed.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Now it could have been my wife's. I don't know, but there it is. There she goes, gets it. Oh, thank you so much. It's my favorite sweatshirt. It's my thank you so much. Like, okay, all right, you're welcome. And then
Sounds like she planted it there.
So she takes off, and I call up my wife. Was there another woman's sweatshirt by your bed, your side of the bed? And she goes, if there was another woman's sweatshirt by my side of the bed, you'd be the first to know about it. And yeah. And like, okay, all right. So I call up the boss of the cleaning team. I said, okay, your person was stealing from me. She'll never be in my house again. If she's stealing from me, she's stealing from others. You decide what to do there, but she'll never be in my house again. Like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'll look at it. Okay. I get a phone call the next day, and it's the boss on the phone, and so would like to talk with you. I'm like, okay, I'll talk with her. And she's bawling her eyes out. Like, okay, I understand. She got caught stealing from me. She's bawling her eyes out.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case. She goes into, I'm so sorry. I'm an addict. I was in a car accident about 12 years ago and got addicted to painkillers. I can't get off them. Everything I've tried, I can't get off of them. My husband doesn't even know. Nobody's caught me until you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Now, remembering back to the technique that I developed, I call the ox cart technique, the carrot and the stick, the ox cart. We can talk more about that in a second, get more into the details if you like. Thought, okay, I could be nice and okay, that's okay and everything, but that won't help her. That, in fact, will only hurt her over the long run. She needs, everything she's tried hasn't worked. She needs to try something different.
Yeah.
So it's time to do this. So the stick, what I call the failure scenario. And I teach people to write up a failure scenario. We'll talk about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. You're going to prison. Oh my God. Oh, tears, right? You're going to prison. You were stealing narcotics from me. You're going to prison. And I'll let that soak for just a second, okay? Let that soak, because she's got to feel that. She's got to internalize that failure scenario for it to be effective. Okay? So you're going to prison. I'm so sorry. No, you're going to prison. Unless. Okay, unless. Here's the deal. The next step in the ox cart technique, you set up your failure scenario, how bad it's going to be if you don't reach your goal. And at the end of that, I teach you to write a little quote, and it's in the book there. Basically, this will not be my future.
Yeah.
I will take the actions that it takes every single day to make sure that the reality of my success scenario does become my future. But what happens when you read your own failure scenario? I do this for my marriage. I do this for everything. I write out a failure scenario, how bad it's going to be if I don't reach my goal. And this is what I teach. Her failure scenario was loud and clear. It was only because of that, because she felt the pain, she felt the stick, that she couldn't wait to hear what the unless was.
Yeah.
And the unless is the action plan. This is where whatever you want to succeed in, be it business, what steps do you have to take every single day to make sure the failure scenario does not come true and the success scenario does? For a good marriage, what do you need to do every single day? Because it's work, folks. What do you need to do every single day to make sure your failure scenario doesn't come true and your success scenario does? So now it's time for her action plan. Unless you are going to prison, unless you go to an inpatient program, okay, right away. After that, you go to an outpatient program. And by the way, I'm writing this book on goal setting right now,
Yeah.
and I want to send you the draft, and you use it. You use the technique. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. No, 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 no. Do not thank me.
Yeah.
I will follow up with you. If you do not take these actions, you will go to prison. On the other hand, if you do take these actions, success scenario time. You're going to be clean. You're finally going to be free of this prison called addiction. You're finally going to be able to be honest with your husband, and everybody else that's in your life that you've been lying to all this time, especially yourself. How will that feel? Oh, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. Okay. So notice failure scenario, action plan, success scenario. That's why she's clean.
Yeah.
She took the action plan because that failure scenario, she knew the success scenario. That's what she'd been focusing on.
Yeah.
Right? I want to be clean. I want to get over it. Bam. This is in her face now. That's why it worked. Again, the marriage. Why will I never fool around on my wife?
Yeah.
Now, is it because I want to? I'm smitten over my wife. You need to know that. I am smitten.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's amazing, dude. I married so up in basically every way possible, and I'm smitten with her, and I want to live the rest of my life with her. Now, will that make me make the right decisions when you get tempted or whatever? Or will the fact that I mentioned she's an attorney, and if I screw up, right? I say that as a joke. But there's truth to both sides.
Yeah.
And it's even things. It's not just let's talk marriage. It's not just I won't fool around on her. You know what? I'm going to tell her I love her every single morning. I told you my first thought out of my head every single morning. The next thing is usually, hey, darling, have I told you today that I love you? First thing out of the hat.
I was thinking either love you or gratitude. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first was thank you, God, for the gifts I've given. Yeah. And then you're right. Gratitude for her too.
Yeah.
Or just the little things, or you know what? Keep your bodily noises to yourself. It's stuff like that. So that is on my action plan.
Yeah.
And do I do this myself? You bet I do.
Yeah.
So that's the ox cart technique in a nutshell.
Love it.
The book takes people through all the different applications of the ox cart technique in most of your avenues of life, including leadership in business, leading a team, et cetera, et cetera. And it's helped so many people. It's been just amazingly gratifying to me.
Yeah, that's super. That's really amazing. I really like it. I love it.
Oh, good.
I don't like it. I love it. My friend says it to me all the time.
You can do both. I like my wife and I love my wife.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, I love this. I really like this question. I think it opens up things, but you've already talked about it. But I was going to ask about what challenges you've gone through in your life, especially the big ones, and what have you learned to fight through and succeed as you have, and making life sweeter now. So what have you learned from that too? Like,
Well, another fun one. I haven't talked about this one much on the air. So I live in Spokane, Washington.
Okay.
And they were just a few years ago on the news in the wintertime. It was going to be negative double digit. And the news like, do not go outside. Your skin will freeze off in seconds, blah, 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 whatever you do, stay inside, blah, 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 blah. So of course, being the individual that I am, I grabbed a backpack and some snowshoes and went for it. And so I used my 4-wheel drive, got out as far as I could. Then when that was the end of that road, strapped on my backpack, strapped on my snowshoes, and I want to get to the top of the mountain. I'm going to go
Cool.
way condensed version on this story for the sake
Okay.
of your time, but it was excruciating, man. I had a lot of extra weight because I got to stay warm in negative double digit through the night. So it was heavy. I'm going up this mountain. I am dying, man. I am dying. I finally get to the top, and it took a long time, and I collapsed. I've got a picture of just me laying in the snow. You
Mm,
see my snowshoes,
mm.
and there's a mountain range behind. The problem with the mountain range behind in the shot is there's a blizzard there. Now I
Oh,
am exhausted. I'm done. I have no more strength. I'm done. I'm laying in the. I didn't even take my backpack off. I am laying in the snow, and I look over there and I see that blizzard. Like, oh crap, it's
gosh.
coming this way.
Yeah.
I've got to make up my shelter. Now I'm exhausted. I got no more strength. We always have more strength in us than we think we do.
Mm.
I can't do it anymore. I can't take it anymore. I can't. Yes, you can.
Yes.
So I get going and I get my shelter done up, and happily it doesn't come in. But now it's getting towards dark, and I'd really like a fire if at all possible. The problem is I'm in about 3 feet of snow. It's negative double digits. Everything up there, any wood to burn, is either below the snow where I can't see it. It's down
Oh,
deep in snow and covered in snow and everything. Anything sticking up is covered in hoarfrost, which is just frost that's covered on there.
oh,
Everything is soaked. Everything is frozen.
yeah.
That's all right. I know what the problem is. What's my solution?
Yeah.
So that's a big one for everybody. Don't keep looking at the problem, look at the solution.
Yeah.
It's there. There's always a way. It merely becomes our job to find that way.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the way? So I dig out down to the ground, first of all, for my fire lay. I go around, I break off anything I can, anything I can find. And if it's sticking out one, there's more wood down there. I'm digging it out, I'm cleaning it off best I can. Now I am one of those survivalist weirdos. So matches are a sin to me. So I've got
Uh-huh.
to use, but I had a spark stick with me, ferro
Ferro,
rod.
ferro rod. Yep.
Yeah, you got it. So
Yeah.
okay, all right, I'll go with that. Now I'm going with that. I'm pretty good with this stuff. I've done it a couple of times, and that's going nowhere. Again, it's negative double digit. Fire needs what three things? Do you know what three things?
Air,
Good.
dry wood or
Fuel, good
fuel. Yeah,
fuel,
fuel.
and
Uh,
heat.
and yeah,
And
heat. Yeah,
heat.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a reason that wildfires burn faster, hotter, stronger when it's hot out versus when it's cold out.
Hmm.
I don't have a whole lot of heat going on here. My fuel is, soaking wet, frozen, and yeah, I've got air. I've got that much going for me. A little thinner up there, but no big deal.
Yeah.
I can't get it going. Okay, fine, fine. I'll pull out matches. Fine.
Uh-huh.
Nothing, dude.
Yeah.
Fire starter. I never use fires. Okay, fine. And now I'm going for a long time. I'm already way past exhaustion. I'm trying everything I've got. Trying. Finally, I give up.
Oh
I
boy.
do one last try. Nothing. I give up. I lay down in the snow beside that fire pit, and I remember just looking up that clear blue, cold sky as it's going to start getting dark now. Going, this is going to be a long, cold night.
Yeah.
And at that moment, and I promise you this happened, it's just trippy to me.
Yeah.
I wait, what's that? What's that sound? Wait, oh my God, it started.
The fire?
That last ditch final with the last bit of my strength that I had in the world.
Whoa.
And it started. I was
So
able
the
to get it
sound
going.
was the crackle of the wood burning or what?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So give it, keep going, keep going, keep going. You never know when that last effort is going to be the effort. So
Yeah.
just never give up, man, no matter what. When you have more strength in you than you think you have.
Yeah.
Focus on the solution, not the problem. Anybody can point out the problems. Just go on the internet and find out.
Yeah.
Your job is find the solution and work your butt off till you get to it.
Yeah. That's a great story. Thank you. My 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 no, I won't go into that. Never mind.
You can. It's
Well,
your show, man.
my last guest I had is a adventure guide in the mountains and stuff in Alaska and in Yosemite and Yellowstone.
Nice.
My friends from
Nice.
college, so he's built his little thing. He's growing it. Um, and so that just ties right in my mind anyway, but it's cool. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We talked about literally conquering your mountains. So yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Precisely.
Yeah. Um, you already answered my next question, which was how do you overcome these challenges and conquer your mountains? Well, you said that essentially. Okay, what is your why, your big why or your mission statement? And is it because of the challenges you've gone through or where's it come from?
My mission statement is to help as many people as I can before I die. Yep.
Simple. Great.
Yep. Simple, just like that. Now, but don't get me wrong by that. I'm going to help myself too.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with having money. There's
Yeah.
not. Now there's a lot wrong with pride.
Yeah.
And of course, now we're going into personal beliefs, and that's okay. You're interviewing me, so I'll tell you mine.
Okay.
Um, yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with having money. There is a lot wrong with having pride because, again, I think it's important to remember where these gifts came from. You know, I'm I I'm a pretty smart guy.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's not by my doing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had nothing to do with that.
Uh-huh.
That was a gift. So
Okay.
I have nothing to be proud of. Now, I've got a really good work ethic.
Yeah.
I work my butt off. So a lot of people want to try to say, well, yeah, but you work hard to deserve. No, I don't deserve anything. And
Uh-huh.
my work ethic also comes from God.
Uh-huh.
So again, I have nothing to be proud of. I've got a lot to be thankful for.
Yes.
A lot to be thankful for. And I think, and thankfully, you're hearing a lot about gratitude out there these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Living a life of gratitude. It's so critical.
Hmm.
It's so critical. Again, you're interviewing me, so I'll tell you.
Hmm.
Um, I go through my entire life thanking God for pretty much everything, every little thing that happens.
Hmm.
Thanks for that, God. Now
Yeah.
bad things happen to me still. Not that they did. Bad things happen to me still. Sometimes it's hard to be thankful. That's when it's most important to be thankful.
Yeah. See the
You know,
blessings in disguise I'm always trying to do, and be thankful for the little things that the sun came out today, that I woke up today, that
amen, brother. Amen.
yeah. You
Yeah.
know, so
Another one that a lot of folks are liking to talk about right now, though, is my Blow the Bolts series, the audio series. Is that
yeah.
something you'd like to get into?
Yeah. And you're talking about bolts like nuts and bolts.
Yeah,
To
exactly.
be clear for
Exactly.
our listeners and stuff.
Yeah, good. Well done. Well done, sir. Um, if you're watching video of this, we're having a little private laugh, a little joke we made before we started recording. It was awesome. I will never forget. Um,
Should we tell
Tell him. I think you should tell him, man. I thought it was
them?
hilarious.
I mumbled my words when I was first saying it and said below the belt. And then and then knowing that Terry's a black belt in Taekwondo just struck even more funny. So I don't know.
I'll be telling that one, man.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
So, blow the bolts. And where
Yeah.
did that come from? So, you've seen a rocket launch before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody's seen maybe on TV and the
Yeah.
movies, whatever, a shuttle launch.
Or like our model rockets in you probably did that in Boy Scouts, right? Model
Yeah,
rockets.
yeah. Now this will be different from that in that if
Okay.
you've ever watched a launch, you've seen they do the countdown T minus
Uh,
10, 9, right? 8. Now you're seeing all of this smoke and all of this steam while that's going on. 7, 6, 5, 4. At T minus 4 on the
mm,
space shuttle launches, all three main engines of the space shuttle were firing at full power.
uh-huh.
Full power. There's enough power there to send tons of metal and everything else up into space, into orbit at 15,500 miles per hour. They're going on full, and at T minus 4, that space shuttle's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Why not? Well, here's why not. Because it's being held back by 8 relatively tiny bolts. It's bolted
Um,
down to the launch pad by 8
uh-huh.
relatively tiny bolts. This is the one of the nuts from one of the bolts
Oh, that's
right
cool you
here.
got that.
Yeah, if you're watching a video, you can see it. If not, it's about, I don't know, what's that, about 6 inches across, something like that, which for a space shuttle, hold a space shuttle back with all that power is nothing, but it
Yeah.
can't go anywhere as long as these are holding it back. That's a
Wow.
T minus 4. Now T minus 3, 2, 1, 0. right?
Yeah.
On T-0, something amazing happens. You see these little areas here. There's
Yeah.
explosives within these bolts. At
Oh,
T-0, charges go off to blow these charges. It breaks the nuts in two and blows the bolts.
wow. Okay, I got you.
Isn't that something? Isn't that
Whoa.
something? And
Wow.
then when these can no longer hold it back, then the space shuttle can go to do everything that God and man intended it to do.
Mm.
You're already there. You're already there. That's what happens to us as well. You know, we can do all this positive motivation, all this positive thinking, all this stuff, but we have what I call the yeah buts. The yeah
Yeah.
buts. There you go. You're there. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm not rich enough. Yeah, but I'm not smart enough. Yeah, but I'm too old. Yeah, but I tried it before and it didn't work. Yeah, but I can't take any more disappointment. Yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah,
That,
but.
yep. I do that with a lot of things and make second guessing and overthinking and come up with all the pessimistic, even though I'm an optimist, I get in my
Right.
head.
You're human.
Yeah.
You're human. You
Yeah.
have the yeah buts. We all do. And that became my job. What are those 8 bolts that are holding everybody back? And until they're blown, I don't care how much force, positive motivation, and everything else you've got, or put it out to the universe, you're not going nowhere until these bolts are blown.
Mm.
That's what this audio series is all about, is looking at those 8 bolts, things like fear. You know, of course, what's a big one? Fear of the unknown, fear of change, fear of what your friends might say, fear of commitment, the self-doubts we all have. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I don't have what it takes. I don't have a business background. Imposter syndrome
Yeah.
holds a lot of people back. Failure. I teach people to embrace failure. Failure is amazing. It's a great thing. Attitude. We talk about getting a good attitude. Well, you know what? We still have those yeah buts on attitude until we get rid of the bad attitude, like you were talking about.
Mm.
Until you get rid of those traits, you can't add in the new ones. And I go
Mm-hmm.
all the way through the excuses, like I don't have time, I don't have enough time, all those kind of things with real stories and fun stories. It's 4.5 hours of in this audio series of
Oh yeah.
blowing the bolts. And the acclaim, I did a pre-release, and the acclaim has been fantastic. It's been
Great.
absolutely fantastic. Yeah, the response that I got from people. Um, you ask again, what's a perfect day for me? Get those
Mm.
kind of responses that
Yeah.
help, how it help people.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
good day. So it's not available right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know when you'll release this. I've got a team that's redoing my website and everything else, and we're going back now because I love feedback from people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even the hey, have you thought of this, or you need to change this, or that
Yeah.
sucked, or whatever.
Yeah.
That's great stuff, man.
Yeah.
So I'm going back, doing some tweaks on it, and then it'll be released on terrylfossum.com. So if you're hearing this, you go to the website. It's not there yet. You're interested. It's not there yet. Get on my list. Get on my VIP list.
And again, yet we're just put this in context here. We're talking March 31st of 2023. It might be a couple months, few months before I get this out there publicly, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, which is perfect. Which is perfect because by then it should be available.
Yeah.
Because right now, like I said, while we're recording it, it's not even available. And I've had people asking, like, I'm sorry, it's not available right now. But I heard it's not available. It will be. Get on the list. So yeah, come on over to the website, check it out. It is life changing. I'm out of everything, almost everything that I've done. I'm most proud of this audio series.
Awesome.
Right on. Right
Wow.
on.
That's huge if that's what you're most proud of all your things.
I, I'm really proud of it, dude. I mean,
Hmm.
this is just Terry talking, right? I'm not any of those things people think of this celebrity and all that kind of crap. No, no, it's not true. It's just me.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm really, really proud of the God years of hard work I put into this thing because it's helping so many people.
Hmm.
So yeah, yeah.
And that's even bigger for you than the ox cart technique, or you use that in it too. So, or am
It is a crazy good 1-2 punch, man. You know, the scientific community has jumped on board with the ox cart technique. So is the motivational community. I'm not allowed to say names of.
Yeah.
We're redesigning the hard copy, and it's going to be launched by the time this airs. It'll be launched.
Yeah.
So go to barnesandnoble.com or wherever, it'll be available. But some of the biggest names you've heard of in the motivational community have endorsed it. I've got this gentleman by the name of Forrest Mims III. He was named one of the 50 best brains in science by Discover magazine. Right.
Oh,
So I mean, this is like, and he calls it the biggest advancement in goal setting
woo.
in the science of goal setting in recent history.
Wow.
It's blown away, man, blown
Jeez.
away. And a PhD psychologist that did his dissertation on prospect theory, and that's the science, the psychology behind the Oxcart technique. He wrote the foreword for this. Because I asked him, I reached out to a
Uh-huh.
lot of the scientific community, said, prove me wrong, because
Wow.
that's true science. Prove
Uh-huh.
me wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want you to just figure out why it can be. No, prove me
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
And they all came back with, no, you're dead on.
Whoa.
Prospect theory won the Nobel Prize when it was applied to economics.
Okay. So is that where you were researching that and you got that kind of was part of where you got to writing the book?
As it turned out, I developed the technique quite honestly, and applied it to these arenas, and then found out about this
Oh.
science. And
Okay.
then,
I
okay,
got you. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like, okay, this isn't, yes, it was my idea, and yes, I developed it and everything. What I didn't realize is there's huge science behind the concepts that just made sense to me.
Right. You just
The
kind of
scientific,
intuitively put it together from your own
yeah,
experience and then that's another God-given gift, it's not our like I think about it too. I've had invention ideas and whatever that I haven't pursued because of all those holdbacks, but
the series, the below the belt series.
yep, yeah. But I think there's not my ideas. I'm just the vehicle, the he's channeling it through me. I'm the radio station for broadcasting those ideas,
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
well done, dude. Well done. I
thank
really
you.
much appreciate that you have that attitude. It's
Thank you.
exactly correct.
Thank you.
Yeah. So then, as I was talking now to more scientists,
Yeah.
because again, my background again, mechanical engineer. I like science. I want things
Yeah.
based in science. And these guys, that's their field. Psychology is their field.
Hmm.
And for them to be coming back, well, and Terry, and here's giving me even more. Here's why this is so good. Here's why this is so accurate. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm tripping. I'll be
Yeah, right.
perfectly honest, perfectly real with you. I'm
Yeah.
tripping. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But what a blessing.
Yeah. Wow. So cool. Boy, I'm so glad. I mean, I'm just again so glad we're doing this and going on these topics and free flowing and let's see, interweave some other questions. We're almost to the end of my questions, but we're going beyond an hour maybe, but that's okay.
As long as the
Awesome.
listeners are interested,
Yeah, the time flies with us, with you.
Heck yeah. Well, with us, absolutely. Heck yeah.
Uh, um, let's see. Man, you're giving so much advice to everybody, so I don't know if I'll ask that of what other advice you have, unless you have some simple, like summarizing sort
You
of
know,
advice.
yeah, I will do this. Because this is absolutely true too. Invest in yourself.
Hmm.
Invest in yourself. I didn't get my engineering degree by not working for it, right? By not going and getting an education. I didn't become an officer in the Air Force without going through the training and all of that. Invest in yourself. The investment in yourself is worth more than any other investment you're going to make,
Hmm. Hmm.
without question. So
Includes your body as your temple, investing in your body and taking care of your body and your mind and all that. So go
yeah,
ahead.
absolutely. And your psyche.
Yeah.
You need to invest in yourself. If anything, and this, I don't want this to come off as a sales pitch because it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
But the things that I put together because they help people, and
Yeah.
they help people. One of my passions is helping people, and I say like me.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? You know where I came from.
Yeah.
You know who I really am, not the stuff they put up on billboards or websites or stuff like that. You know who I really am. Um, Invest in yourself. I put this stuff together to help people like me be able to get through the things they're going through, like I went through.
Yeah.
I've been very blessed in a lot of ways. Well, I want to help other people like me be able to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So listen, I'm going to be just perfectly frank. I'm going to shoot straight as always. Get the audio series. Does it cost a couple of bucks? Yes, it does. Invest in yourself. Get the book. You bet. Does it cost a couple of bucks? Only, to be the truth, it's not much at all. Get the book. I've got some coaching programs that by the time you release this, we'll have up as well.
Yeah.
If those are, one of them's public speaking. I'll tell you this, the first one I'm telling this. I'm putting together a coaching program on the power of the human voice.
Cool.
Now, let me say this. This is going to be expensive. All right? It's going to be expensive. And it's going to be so worth it. It's going to be so worth it. As proud as I've told you, I'm putting these things together. I'm putting together the speaking program. Unlike any other speaking coaching program out there, I've worked with coaches. All right. God bless them. God bless them. They are doing the best that they have been taught to do. Fantastic. They've got some great ideas. The stuff that I put into this program, I don't care what your background is. If you are scared to death to get up in front of an audience, to get in front of a microphone, to speak to one person, you're scared to death, or you've been doing it for a bit and you're pretty good, I guarantee you, I'm going to be teaching you some things that are going to change your life forever. Because let's face it, the people, and this is just the terrible truth, the people that make more money are good at communicating.
Yeah.
The people that are successful in pretty much any arena, almost any arena, are good at communicating, are good at coming across powerfully. And that's one of my favorite things to teach. I can take anybody and make them like that be the most powerful they've ever been in their life. And they do it themselves. They do it themselves. They just go through the process. And then they can do it for themselves forever. It's gonna be life-changing.
That's awesome. That's
I'm really pleased with it. So invest in yourself, whatever you do. That's the best investment you can make, because everything else will stem from that.
And it's
that's
like,
it. And believe in yourself. You have greatness inside of you. You have great, you
I agree.
too.
Yep.
You have goodness inside of you. Okay. You are amazing. If you can do this, you're amazing. Just think how amazing just that right there. And for the listeners, I'm just moving my hand is all I'm doing.
Well, and it makes me think of people who don't have a hand to do that, but or just a blink, whatever.
A blink, whatever.
Yeah.
If you can have cognitive thoughts.
Yeah.
So you are amazing. You are capable of truly nearly anything. Don't hold yourself back, man. Believe in yourself. I know you hear that a lot, but it's true. Now you've heard it from a guy that's never going to grow up to be anything. Poorest city in the entire United States, wrong end of an assault rifle in junior high, et cetera, et cetera. You got this. You got this.
As you were talking about teaching other people how to do it themselves so that they can go on, you're not just, you're making sure that by the time they're done with your program, they're already doing for themselves so they can continue. It makes me think of the whole Jesus thing about you don't just fish for the people, you teach them how to fish.
100%, man.
Yeah.
And by the time they're done with that program, and I truly am so pleased with that program, how it's coming along. It's not done yet. I'm still in the midst of writing it.
Just like this podcast.
Yeah. And like, dude, this is going to help so many people. It's going to change so many flipping lives. It's going to be cool.
Cool. I can't wait to do it myself someday.
Right on.
Yeah, all these things. Okay, so a couple more. Well, my next question was, do you have a favorite book? We already know.
Better. Viktor Frankl, though, that's another one. Viktor
Frankl,
boy. Wow, what an amazing teacher. So I'd throw that in there. What else? What else you got on that list of questions?
That book is what? Is it As a Man Thinketh?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's another one I really need to get into, but I keep hearing about.
Oh, baby. Yeah, it's a good one.
Or another resource for uplifting empowerment, rejuvenating, refreshing resilience.
This podcast. How'd I do there?
No. Yeah, okay.
You know what? So many people out there have so many good things, but be careful. There's also so many charlatans out there. So many people that haven't actually walked the walk, that haven't done the deal. it drives me insane. I see these programs. I can teach you how to make millions of dollars within the next few weeks. And they did it by teaching people to make $1 million within a
Yeah,
few weeks. You know,
I
it's
ain't
all,
seen that.
there's a lot of bull out there.
Yeah,
So look for the people who have done the deal. You know, I've been told that's why people appreciate me. I've not only done the deal, but in different arenas, you
yeah,
know, between the military, civilian world, and
yeah,
TV, and you
yeah,
know, and martial arts, and you know,
yeah,
because it's all the same principles that apply to all those different areas. It doesn't matter the area;
yeah, yeah.
it's the same principles. But
Principles
find
are
the
the
people.
key. Yeah,
What's that?
principles are the key to everything.
Well, they are. They are. You know, leadership is leadership, wherever it's at. You work hard no matter what you're doing. But so find the people that walk the walk. And there are so many people out there with great stuff. Go out there. If you get one little piece out of it, then fantastic. You know, I'm taking coaching myself right now
Yeah,
in about 3 or 4 different sets that I'm paying good
yeah.
money for. Good money for.
Hmm.
My look at it is if I get one thing out of it and one good thing, then it's going to change that section of my life.
Yeah,
So that's it.
right
Invest in
on.
yourself. Find all the good stuff out there. There's a
Yeah,
lot of great stuff.
yeah.
I'll
Okay.
start with mine.
Yeah, exactly.
Not really.
No,
Yeah.
hours. Yeah, hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Ours.
and that's yeah, hours branching out to the world, thinking hours as well, but find the
Right
good,
on.
find those gems.
Yeah.
Um, do you have a favorite quote or two?
Oh man, a
I know a
bunch
lot
of
of
them.
them. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
me
Yeah. You
too.
know, and it's kind of funny when I got done being a scoutmaster. My kids and adults got me a book, a picture book, you know, like you can make these days.
Yeah.
They got me a picture book, and in there they put a bunch of my quotes. Yeah,
Okay,
you don't
cool.
even realize you're saying, right?
Yeah.
They just, you know, you just say them, and so wow, I guess I've got a bunch of quotes. One of them, I guess, is "There's always a way." And I
Hmm.
mentioned it earlier in your broadcast. There's always a way. Now that's seems simple,
Hmm.
but it's huge
Hmm.
because too often when we meet resistance, we think, well, it can't be done. I can't do it. You know, it ain't going to happen. No, there's always a way. There's always a way to do it.
Hmm.
If we think that, we shift away from the problem mindset and shift to the solution. Okay, if there is a way, and I'll ask people that, okay, if there was a way, what would it be? And it's kind
Uh-huh.
of amazing how they go, well, if there was a way, it would be,
Yeah, and they
no,
come
there
up
it
with
is.
it even though they didn't think they would, and
Yeah.
but
So
they
there's
kind of
always a way.
automatically think outside the box for it, and
Exactly. So if there is always a way, and that's the part of the quote, there's always a way. It merely becomes our job to find that way.
hmm.
And that's just a huge mindset shift
Hmm.
right there.
Hmm.
And learn to love, I guess, you know, just another one to let people know, learn to love failure. Love. Don't think, well, it's
Yeah,
okay. It's you know, no. Flip and love failure.
yeah. You learn so many more lessons from failure than you do from success. I mean, the success comes after, or it takes some. What's that? Edison, and the whole he tried like was it 100 something different ways or something to find the last,
Depending how the story's told, yeah.
yeah, for the light bulb.
Yeah.
And I just
Well,
love
and
that
here's the deal.
idea.
Yeah, the path to success is riddled with failure.
Yeah,
The path to nothingness has no failure at all.
yeah, right,
So if you are failing, get excited. Yes, I failed. I'm on the path to success.
right.
Yes, absolutely. Every time.
Right. Or like I like the example of like the flight attendant asking if you want a coffee or drink or whatever. So many no's, but also gets plenty of yeses, and
Yeah.
doesn't really matter to them anyway. But
No,
yeah,
no. Yeah, absolutely. They're not. Yeah. Yep. That's another good analogy right there.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think your listeners have heard enough of me, by God.
No, no,
You
no.
ready
I
to
got
get
like
on it?
two more well,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
two more
almost
questions
enough.
that are simple. Simple.
Sure.
Okay. What three words most exemplify making the most of life for you?
Wow.
Simple.
Um, God, others, self.
God, others, self.
Service to. Yep. Service
Yeah,
to God,
yeah,
service to others, service to self.
yeah,
It's a Boy Scout thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's great. That goes back far back, so it's instilled.
Oh, scouting. I'll give a little plug here since
Okay, do it. Yeah, do
since
it.
I'm on the air. There, in my opinion, um, there is no better program out there for youth than scouting.
Yeah.
The Scouts BSA, Boy Scouts of America, which now includes, I'm very happy to say, girls.
Yes, I was gonna
Um,
say.
the bottom line to the Boy Scouts of America is it helps boys and girls turn into honorable men and women.
Hmm.
We need more honorable men and women out there.
Yeah.
We need more kids who are trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. We
Nice.
need more of that. And
Yeah.
that's what scouting does. So
Yeah.
get your kids in there. It changed my life. It changed my brother's lives.
Yeah.
And by the way, my brother is an astronaut.
Whoa,
He
cool.
was never going to grow up to be anything either.
Well, that fits with the blowing the bolts of the rocket ship.
That's who I learned it from.
Okay, got it. Cool.
Yep.
That's how you got a half of a bolt there.
That's how I got half a bolt there from the space shuttle. Heck yeah.
Cool. All right, so the last thing is we've already talked about at the beginning, um, in introducing you, but of how people can find and follow you if they want to learn from you. So we've already covered that. Your
Yeah,
website.
TerryLFossum.com. I'm not very imaginative. Terry, TRYL, Fossum, and like possum, FOSSUM.com. You search my name, you'll find me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's the main site, and you'll find everything from there. So that's what I was looking at. So, um, super. Anything else you want to add, or last story you want to tell, or anything?
I think everybody's heard enough of me.
Yeah,
They got
okay. I want to hear more. I would love to have you back on at different points, but
right on, right on. Happy to do so. Down the road a bit, you
yeah,
betcha.
yeah, we'll stay in touch.
Yeah,
Cool.
heck yeah.
Well, thanks everyone for coming on to the Make the Most of Life podcast with myself, Ben Wilsey, as the host, and Terry L. Fossum as our guest. It's been awesome indeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks for everything you're doing, man. Go get them, everybody.
Cheers.
Birds flying high, sun in the sky, sun in the sky. You know